Welcome back, nerds.
We're your hosts this week. I'm Chad.
I'm Jake, and this week we are sponsored by Crybaby Craig's.
We're also sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
This week we will continue our talk about X-Men. This week will be X-Men Days of Future Past. Pretty excited about this. This is one of my top three of the X-Men
Oh,
movies that
absolutely. I'm so
yeah.
stoked about it. And then also, we will be talking about a variety of just nerd news that have to do with mostly film, but yeah, just a bunch of nerd
No,
news.
no.
So it's going to be good.
So let's get it, bitches. I'm sorry. I wrote it down as "Let's get it, bitches." We're gonna keep that. Keep that. Let's get it, nerd. Let's get into it, nerds. Cheers.
Yeah, this is the All
Keep-
Things Nerd
keep
podcast.
Keep that in there. This is the
Absolutely.
All Things Nerd podcast.
Nerd. All right, welcome back, nerds, to another week of the All Things Nerd podcast. It's your weekly dive into all things, well, nerd. So, Jake, how was your week?
I had a great week.
Yeah, you
So
son of a
my
bitch.
my one of my younger cousins got married. Super happy for them.
Yeah,
My
I wasn't
shout out-
invited, which is bullshit, but whatever.
Yeah, because you live in a really dumb state.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I want to give a shout out to my cousin Amrita and her now husband Fahim. It was a ton of fun. Indian weddings are very long. It started on Wednesday. It ended yesterday, Sunday.
Yeah, we're recording this a day late because
Yeah.
of how
My
hungover
hangover.
Jake has been for the past 5 days.
My hangover was real bad yesterday. Real bad. It's so bad that it carried into today. I went to work this morning and my boss was like, "How you feeling? Did you have fun?" And I was like, "I'm feeling it, bud. I'm still feeling it."
I'm feeling it, bud.
And
You can tell
yeah.
that it's a really professional environment based on how he talks to his boss. Yeah, bud.
Hey, you work for the same company, dickhead.
I know.
How about you? How you been?
Well, I mean, I'm fine, I guess, except for being excluded from a super awesome wedding, not getting to hang out with you or like talk to you nearly as much as we normally do for an entire week because you're too busy at said wedding, and my air conditioner went out late last week. Super easy fix. The maintenance company here just hadn't changed the air filters in like over a year, and it was gross. So the air filter was like blocked, so no airflow was going through. So I turned on the air because it was like 90 degrees outside, and my air conditioner froze over, literally just like a wall of ice and no airflow. So that was fun, but that's fixed now. But during that time, I was also just super bored, so I just by myself just had a Harry Potter marathon. And
Yeah.
that's something I'm not ashamed of. I love Harry Potter.
You shouldn't be. And we talked off camera about this, or off microphone, if you will, that maybe after we're done ripping through these X-Men movies, that we should dig into Harry Potter, be our next, what do you call it, film?
Like throwback,
Yeah,
I guess.
to series.
Deep dive.
Yeah, our deep dive into a film series that we could start talking about.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm for that.
we still got a couple X-Men ones to go through, but yeah, I think Harry Potter would be a good one to get into next.
I'm always on board. We can do Harry Potter like 7 times over the next 2 years. And
Hey, you do whatever you want to Harry Potter, but you leave me out of it. He's a minor.
not anymore.
You're gross.
He was 17 in 1995. He's older than both of us, bitch.
Didn't he have like a Daniel? Didn't Daniel Radcliffe have like a when he was like 17? have like a 20-something-year-old like model girlfriend
Probably.
that they didn't do anything until he was 18.
Well,
But
he's British, so like everything is fine at 16 there.
oh, that's weird. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
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 I didn't mean to get into that.
Yeah, he definitely nailed her though.
Yeah.
Gross. Okay.
Weird.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, like I just hung out. I worked. You know, like we don't. Only one of our days off line up, but you only, worked one day this week. So like even at work.
2 days. 2 days.
2 days. Oh, you did work.
Monday. I worked Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, you did work Wednesday. That's right.
So for those of you who don't know, the way we did so it goes like a henna night, which is like you do henna, and then there's food and drinks, and then there's you do like a prayer over the dye that goes on my cousin when they rub it on my cousin's skin, and then her now husband did the same thing with his family, and then that's the first night. It's called the henna night. Second night is the Hindu wedding. The third night was her husband's family's wedding. They're Muslim, so they did a Muslim wedding. And then the fourth night was the reception. And during the first 4 nights, you can't eat meat. So on the fifth night, which was yesterday, you get to eat meat again, which I don't eat meat, but my family does. And they do a big party, and there's all this shit. It's a lot of fun, but it's so overwhelming how much alcohol you take in that amount of time. And yesterday I was in really bad shape. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, Jesus, I lost myself on here.
Yeah, literally just from here before we actually dive into
X-Men.
The X-Men Days of Future Past. Jake, tell us about our first sponsor.
Our first sponsor is Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. Listen up.
Before you do that, so I started I'm changing up my diet, so now I'm paying attention to calories. Crybaby Craig's is 0 calorie, which is pretty dope. So I get to put that shit on everything.
Everything. Everything.
I'm so excited. But anyways, yes, listen up, guys. Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. All right, guys. So, sorry.
Keep it in.
You don't need to tell me every time I'm going to, unless I tell you I'm stopping.
Keep it in.
Oh, fuck. So yes. So this week we're going to continue our deep dive into the old. I say old because now they're not so fucking throwback. Yeah. But into the Fox Studios X-Men films with, in my opinion, probably the best solo, or not solo, but best X-Men ensemble film of the series, which is Days of Future Past. Woohoo. If you guys haven't seen it, you get...
Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah, spoiler alert. But also if you haven't seen it,
First and foremost,
what have you been doing for the past 7 years?
But also, stop it.
Yeah, stop it.
Stop it.
Silly goose. But so Days of Future Past, what's really cool is it brings back a lot of the original X-Men actors. So you get Halle Berry Storm, obviously Hugh Jackman, but Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Sean Ashmore.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is it Sean or Aaron? Because they're twins.
Aaron is not the one that is in X-Men.
Sean? Okay.
Sean is. You get Elliot Page. Back then it was.
Hey, nice
Ellen
work.
Page.
Nice work.
What?
I would have said Ellen Page just because that's who he was when
Yeah.
he was
back. It was before Elliot transitioned.
That was very politically correct of you. Good job, Chad.
Well, it's not that hard. Also, if you guys are offended by that, it's not that hard. Get fucked. And then stay fucked.
Yeah. So Elliot Page now, yeah.
So Elliot Page plays Kitty Pryde.
The fuck's her name?
Fitting also.
Rogue. Who the hell? I forgot her name. Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin.
Yeah.
You just get like a cameo of her at the end of it.
You kind of get a cameo of basically the main, is in the beginning of the movie is like cameos of everyone.
And then also at the end you get some cameos of others.
Yeah.
But so this one takes place, further into the future. If you guys are familiar with the comics, it's inspired directly by the Days of Future Past storyline. It's just that they changed out some characters because Hugh Jackman kind of carried the old X-Men franchise anyways.
Don't you mean the entire franchise?
Well, yeah, because I guess he was not in Dark Phoenix, and that one sucked ass.
Hugh Jackman, we love you.
Oh my God,
Just come
back. Yeah, come back. Take those claws off your coat hanger and shred some gnar one more time, please.
I would have, and I've said it before on this podcast, but I really would have genuinely smelted over a Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man interacting with each other because they're both giant assholes. And I would have loved to see that interaction.
Yeah. The only way that we're going to get that is through multiverse cameos, really.
That or a reboot when we're 50.
Yeah, but those dudes are 50 now.
No, I'm saying when we're 50 and they reboot the franchise, which will probably happen eventually.
Yeah, but those guys are 50 now, so in 20 years they're going to be in their 70s.
No, they wouldn't be in it. I'm just saying an Iron Man and Wolverine interaction we would get someday.
Right.
Not those.
I see what
not those.
I thought you were talking about RDJ and Hugh Jackman.
No.
I was like, those dudes would be fucking.
Yeah.
They could be Magneto and Professor X at that point in time. No. It wouldn't work. Their personalities would not fill either of those personalities.
Hell no. But
it was fun to hope for a second.
Hang on to hope. But,
anyways, so this film is pretty cool. It plays into basically Magneto is right that there's a giant war between humanity and mutants, and Magneto is wrong because mutants lose.
Yeah. And where it all kind of I'm sorry to interrupt, but the end of the Wolverine, the end credit scene, they show you Trask Industries on the screen, the TV screen in the airport, and then Professor Xavier and Magneto, old Professor Xavier and Magneto are like, hey, we need your help, blah, blah, blah. And then the next movie is in the year 2049 or 20, I don't even remember.
It's coming up. It's 2030.
We should have looked it up. But yeah, basically it's in the future, and they show the war between Trask Industries, who makes the Sentinels. With if you ever watch the cartoons or read the comics, they're giant robots that are made specifically for killing mutants.
Killing and hunting them
And
down. Not
yeah,
some of them they'll capture, but
yeah.
at this
And
point in the film,
the opening scene of the film is basically the X-Men just getting fucking
yeah, what's
murked.
left of them.
Yeah.
But Kitty Pryde, her besides being able to run through walls, she can basically send a person's consciousness back in time to like a younger version of themselves. So that's how they're surviving. Is she's sending like who remains of the X-Men back in time so that they can
Try and change the future.
yeah, but also well, more or less at this point in time it's so that they can survive.
Yeah.
You know, they'll set up shop someplace for like a week or two, and then the Sentinels will find them, so they'll send
Another. It's kind of like Inception.
kind
like
of
they just keep sending.
yes. You go back, instead of so if today's the day that everybody gets fucking yeeted, you send yourself back like 4 days, and you're like, hey, we're about to get fucking tossed.
Yeah.
Let's leave now. And then basically they never existed in the timeline where they get just, as you said, murked.
Yeah. So they send Wolverine back.
Well, they want to send Professor X back, but Kitty is like, it takes such a hard toll on the mind to send someone back that far, because they're like, we got to go back to the 70s and change this one thing in history from happening.
And the only person who could do it is Wolverine, because his cells regenerate at such a fast pace that
basically, as his mind is deteriorating from being sent back that far,
it's rebuilding
he's
at
rebuilding
the same time.
itself.
Yeah.
Which is
So he's the only one who they can send back that far into the past.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird to see, because like when they do show Wolverine like kind of come on, we haven't seen him since the Wolverine, and now he's got like gray in his hair, and I mean, he's still very much Wolverine, cigar in the mouth,
but he's a little bit more aged.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then what's cool is when he gets sent back in time, it's before the Weapon X program. So there's a scene very early on where he has to fight his way out of a situation against like mob bosses, and he like throws his claws out and they're bone.
Yeah. It's cool.
Which is rad. Also because like in some of the older films, like when his claws come out and they're metal, it like cuts neatly through the skin.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of points in Days of Future Past when he pulls out the bone claws, and it literally tears through his skin. Like it's not clean cuts. You like see like ripped skin, which is super cool.
I got a mind boggler for you.
Okay.
Ready? We didn't talk about this one pre episode, so so in the Wolverine gets his adamantium claws cut off, right? And his bone ones come out. But then in the beginning of Days of Future Past, when he's old Wolverine, he's got the adamantium back on his claws.
I think poor writing is really what it comes down to. But I'd like to think that somehow, since Magneto is now on the right side, since he can manipulate metal, he's like, I'll give you your metal claws back, and I won't use it to rip you apart.
They're more useful this way, yeah.
But really, it was just lazy writing.
Yeah, okay. Just curious.
There's no other reason.
Yeah.
Like, they never explain it, they never talk about it. So it was literally just an oversight, and then it's all headcanon.
Yeah.
To fix it. But I'd like to think that Magneto in his old age went soft, and it was like a skinny Santa Claus only for Wolverine. You, my son, metal. You don't need all that metal on like your toe joints.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or as Baymax would say, blah, 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 blah. For those of you with the Big Hero 6. But also we get we do get to see the coolest version of Quicksilver
Yes.
to exist to date.
Fucking Ralph Boner, dude. Yeah.
If you guys don't get that reference, just fucking stop here. I will not be upset if we lose a couple subscribers because of this. Actually, I would be.
Yeah.
Keep listening.
Yeah. And tell your friends. Ralph Boner.
Share, like, and subscribe.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely Evan Peters as Quicksilver. I don't get me wrong, I liked what's his name?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Jesus.
Wow.
Christ. I liked him.
We've only made so many incestual jokes about this dude.
I liked
We've
him. We've
recycled the same incestual joke about him twice.
But yeah, Evan Peters as Quicksilver, so amazing, and the parts that he has in this movie are so fucking cool. They didn't have any cool parts with Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver.
Aaron Taylor Johnson had like one-liners that were cheesy.
And he was fast. He was like zip, 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 and then like he died.
Yeah, it literally just showed like weird blue streaks as he ran away, and
yeah,
it was basically like the CW's Flash with a color change.
Yes, yes, absolutely, that's what it was.
They only did like one slow-mo scene with Aaron Taylor Johnson like running like a weird dude, like
yeah, like
and punching like two robots.
Yeah, but
like the Flash from the Joss Whedon's Justice.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Weird, yeah. Oh, this is how I run. Oh, sorry, microphone.
Yeah, it's fine. It forgives you.
But Evan Peters Quicksilver has the coolest fucking scenes in both Days of Future Past and Apocalypse. Did we talk? Yeah, we already did Apocalypse.
No,
yeah.
we haven't done Apocalypse yet. That's the next one.
Oh, that's the next one. You're right. Yeah.
So we'll talk about this again.
Yeah.
But
he has the best scenes in the entire movie.
It shows how powerful he actually is because of his speed.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Like, he runs so fast that literally as he runs by you, he can just, like, tap you.
Yeah.
But the kinetic energy is so intense that it just fucking yeets you.
There's, like, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So there's a point where you were talking about bone claws. There's a part where they go to recruit basically Evan Peters' character, and they ask him like, "Hey, we need your help," and he's like, "Why would I help you?" And then Xavier goes, young Xavier, "Oh shit, we fucked up again."
Well, it brings in both the
part where
timelines.
So when in for X-Men First Class, when they're recruiting people, they go to Wolverine and they say, "Hey, I'm Charles and I am Eric," and he goes, "The two of you can fuck off." And then in Days of Future Past, when Wolverine goes to recruit,
to find Charles and convince him to
help him, Xavier basically says, "I do remember you, and I'm gonna tell you what you told us all those years ago. Fuck off."
Yeah.
And he like walks away. Yeah, that's cool. So, but yeah, so Evan Peters' character, eventually they go to recruit him, and Wolverine,
because they have to break Magneto out of the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Because he's locked up for killing Kennedy. So that's how they, in the comic world, they explain the magic bullet that domed JFK.
Yeah.
Sorry. Enough time has passed. I can make that joke.
But yeah, so basically, he's like, "Why should I help you guys?" And then Xavier's like, "Show him," and Wolverine like pulls his bone claws out. And Quicksilver's like, gross.
And he's like a
That's cool.
17-year-old, just like smart ass kid at this
Yeah.
point in time.
They kind of go into it a little bit in those two movies with Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, which we'll get into later. But Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are in the comics Magneto's kids.
Yeah, in some of the stories, but
Yeah.
in some of the storylines, but yeah, so they break Magneto out of the Pentagon, and before we get the line where like it's hinted that Magneto is his dad, they're like waiting for the door to like open, and Quicksilver, Evan Peters, puts his hand like on the back of Michael Fassbender's head. And Michael Fassbender as Magneto is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, it's for the whiplash." And Michael Fassbender's like, "What?" And Evan Peters, instead of like explaining it, just goes, "Whiplash."
It's so funny.
And then like rushes him out of the room once the door opens, whatever. And they're in an elevator, and just before the door opens, Evan Peters is like, "So you can move metal?" Huh. My mom used to know a guy that could do that.
Yeah.
And just the look on Michael Fassbender's face of like, fuck. Like, I'm going to have to back pay this child support.
But getting back to where we were going with all that is he has like probably one of the coolest scenes in the entire movie. It's insane. And I mean, we could talk for like probably like 10 minutes on it. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but
what blows my mind though, so we didn't talk about this. In the 1970s, he would have only had like a Walkman, right? For his
yeah.
With a Walkman, it doesn't play on a continuous loop. Right? Like it gets to the end of the tape, you have to rewind it.
Mm-hmm.
When he puts his headphones on to run, at his pace, you know, as to how fast it's going, it's playing to where it makes sense to where he's following it like it's in real time.
Mm.
How fast that tape would have to be running, either that tape would burn out, or by the time he actually put his headphones on, it would be done and he would just hear silence anyways.
That's a good point. I never thought of that. That's crazy.
They fucked up. That's all I'm saying.
Well, then, yeah.
This movie sucks is what I'm trying to say, and I hate it.
No, it doesn't. This movie's so good.
This movie is amazing. It's my favorite X-Men film. But yeah, that's it.
One of the things that I wanted to talk about this movie is not just this movie, but like the span of these movies is how much you and I together collectively did not really give a shit about Jennifer Lawrence's portrayal of Mystique.
No, and it goes back to your hatred of over-entitled teenage women.
But it makes me sound like such a dick.
It makes you sound super misogynistic. Yeah, you're right.
But in my defense, I love female lead roles. Yeah. I really fucking do. Monica Rambeau, I love when they're done well. But when they make them
Elizabeth Olsen,
yes. Any of the I love a really well done female lead role. But when you put some fucking cute girl in a movie just because she's a cute girl, and then you make her character a fucking bitch the whole fucking movie, that annoys the shit out of me. It annoys the shit out of me when it's men too. Like if you're like, hey, Hugh Jackman was that blows my whole fucking thing out of the water. I was to say if Hugh Jackman was an asshole for all these movies, but he totally was. His character was
but that fit the character. Like
yeah.
Like Rebecca
Romaine Stamos played Mystique.
Miss Stamos. The woman that
Rebecca Romaine, yeah.
Yeah, but she's the reason that so many middle-aged women just fucking hated her in the 90s and early 2000s because of John Stamos.
Whatever. His weird belly button.
Oikos yogurt. Sorry. No, but Rebecca Romijn.
She played the character awesomely. I really liked her character. Jennifer Lawrence's character.
It made sense because she's kind of dark. She's sadistic.
Yeah.
And, like, she uses her ability to, like, actually, like, be a badass instead of being like, I don't want people to see that I'm blue.
Yeah.
And they tried to play it off as, like, this is her character arc. And then at the end of First Class, when she's, like, mutant proud, and then she's, like, all blue, and then the next film, she's like, I'm hiding again.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to get... I'm scared to get too into it because I don't want to sound like a jerk.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, and also just like we'll get more into it as we get into like Apocalypse and then Dark Phoenix, but like also just the fact that like the body makeup that made up the look for Mystique got worse and worse and worse
because Jennifer Lawrence complained,
didn't want to keep sitting in the chair for makeup.
And it's like, are you kidding me? You're getting paid millions of dollars.
And like I understand that it's probably a pain in the ass.
Sure.
Like clearly. I mean, you have to sit there for like 6 hours before you do anything.
Yeah. Before we make millions of dollars.
Yeah. That goes without saying. But like maybe at the start of the first film, be like, hey, you guys have plans to do like multiple of these where I'm going to be in the same makeup. Can we make it more practical now so that moving forward it's consistent? Instead of being like...
In her defense, at the time, she wasn't like a super like sought after
She'd already
actor.
done the Hunger Games. That's why she was hired. Sorry for the awkward silence. Jake is just squinching and shrugging his shoulders like a little bitch.
Hunger Games sucked. Like the first couple were okay, but the fucking movie, I'd understand that the books were good, but the movie franchise was fucking terrible. I'm sorry. I said it.
That's fine.
Hate me if you want. Whatever. Yeah.
I saw them. I'm not in love with them.
But Jennifer Lawrence, she just is kind of, seems like she whined a little bit, and they were like, yeah, we'll cater to you because you're a big actress and we don't want to lose you.
And
in
because
these
she
films.
got so much like fans because like on the red carpets and in interviews she seems so relatable, like I love pizza. Oh!
Yeah.
And you're like, everybody loves pizza, I get it. Like you seem like the kind of person that I would be super stoked to hang out with, and then I would start hanging out with you and be like, hang on, I have to go fake a phone call for an emergency where I have to leave.
I don't think that I dislike Jennifer Lawrence, but I did not like her portrayal. I did not like her portrayal as Mystique at all. It did nothing for me. Nada. Sorry.
That's
cute. You're cute. That's what you got going for you.
She's cute, and like obviously like to people are like, oh, these actors, they get paid so much money just to like read some lines. It's like, acting's fucking hard, dude. Like, and clearly she's good at what she does. Mm-hmm. But yeah, as Mystique,
I agree. I
sucked.
love her in other movies.
I like her as an actress. I don't think I would actually enjoy hanging out with her. Is all I was trying to say. Like she tries to like, not tries, but like her public image. Everyone's like, oh, she seems like someone you can hang out with. And I look at her, I'm like, I would be stoked to hang out with her, but I know that like half an hour in, I'd be like, I could just be at home hanging out with my dog, and it's not as good of a story, but I would be more comfortable.
Moving on.
That's all.
From
sorry.
our
we get to
one
see
of
the Sentinels though.
I was gonna say one of the coolest things about the movie is we get to see the Sentinels. This is huge.
Yeah, so the futuristic versions of the Sentinels are like super mecha and weird, and they try to make them
Well,
super futuristic.
they're like perfected at that point in the
Yeah,
future. Yeah,
but it was almost
but we
like
get
I get that it's supposed to be like they're a super weapon,
yeah,
but it was like too easy of a super weapon.
yeah, but we get a comic book ish slash cartoon ish accurate Sentinels when Wolverine goes back in time to like the
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the end. It's I think it's like 1973. It's the
yeah,
end of the Vietnam War.
yeah. So we get to see what they were supposed kind of what they're supposed to look like. I think the most accurate portrayal of them was in X-Men 2 in the training program.
It's X3.
Is it 3?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Anyways, I don't know why. Yeah. Uh just ignore that. Chad died for doing something weird.
If you're watching it, you get it, but if not,
Yeah.
you should be watching it.
We get somewhat of a comic accurate portrayal of the Sentinels, which is pretty cool.
The design and look of them is right. It's just that the colors are a little bit off.
Yeah.
We don't get like the maroon and purple. We get white and purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also get wow.
Wow.
We also get a very or not a very wow, that was weird.
Wow.
We also get to see a young that's a very young version of William Stryker, who is the guy who turned Wolverine into like the adamantium like skeleton that he was.
Turns him into Weapon X.
Yeah, so we got to see a young version of him, which is kind of cool. There's like a scene where Wolverine like sees him and he kind of loses his focus between the future and where he is now.
Yeah. Well, between the movie's present and the past.
Yeah, yeah. And when he finally snaps out of it, Xavier's like, "What happened? Where'd you go or whatever?" And Wolverine's like, "I just saw somebody who's going to cause me a lot of pain someday." And so that was pretty cool. I like that.
It was cool. And like but what's weird about this film is that it does fuck up the timelines more in order to fix it. So I guess the ends justify the means, but like in the original X-Men film back in 2000, they show Boulevard Trask.
Yeah.
And he is not Peter Dinklage. He is definitely over 5'8", so definitely not Peter Dinklage. And he's also African American, so definitely not Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. I don't think they ever expected
fine.
The X-Men movies to do what they did.
Yeah, in the first X-Men film, I mean, they threw out Hank McCoy as a non-blue beast.
Yeah.
And Boulevard Trask, and then just for fan service. But in the story of Days of Future Past, Boulevard Trask died in the 70s. And that's what jump-started the Sentinel program. But in the first X-Men film, it's like based in, 2000s.
Basically, Days of Future Past, what happened is in all the previous movies, they fucked everything up because they were like, they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
And so Days of Future Past was the fix-all. They were like, all right, we need to, we got something here. We got to fix all of this timeline bullshit that we fucked up. And so they made this movie, which is such a good movie.
Oh, it's great. We've been talking shit, but it's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
It's the best of the X-Men films.
I feel so bad for... Oh, let me get through this first. Hold on.
Okay.
So this is the fix-all. They go back and they... Cyclops, spoiler alert, dies in Last Stand, which is the third X-Men
which we
movie.
talked about already. So
yeah, and
if that's a spoiler from us. You're also fucked up.
This kind of brings him back to life. It brings Jean back to life. it's the fix all. If they're like, okay, well, these characters can't be dead, so we got to fix this. I do feel bad going back to what I was saying is I because of this podcast and you and my relationship with you is that we talk shit about movies even when we're not
Even
on
movies we
camera.
fucking love.
This is what we do. This is why we decided to do this. Is that when you and I talk, we're like, oh, I would love to see this. I would hate to see this. I'm pissed off that this happened. We talk shit. And when my poor girlfriend and I watch movies or TV shows, I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. It should have been like this, or like that. And she's just like rolling her eyes at me like the whole time. I feel so bad for her. But yeah, she's a trooper for sticking it out.
But yeah, so basically, long story short of Days of Future Past, phenomenal X-Men film. It's what we should have gotten from the start.
From the start,
obviously, back in the day, they didn't know what it was going to be. They didn't know how to do it right. But this, they kind of mess up the timelines a little bit in order to fix the timelines for like another movie.
Yeah,
and then they kind of fuck it up again. But we'll get to that in a couple of weeks. But with that being said, we do need to talk about our second sponsor, which is Ray's Energy Drinks. Fantastic energy drink. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 crush. Yeah, brah. But honestly, super great energy drinks.
I got that reference.
But yeah, so listen up and we'll tell you a little bit about Ray's Energy. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Ray's Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Ray's Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their refresh formula technology, Ray's Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Ray's Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
All right, guys. You good?
Sorry. Yeah, keep going though.
Keep going. All right. So now we just want to talk about some exciting stuff that's happening in the nerd world. I think to start it off, they released a very small teaser trailer for Shazam 2.
Yeah.
Chad and I talked a little bit about this before we started recording. It's in the first Shazam. I enjoyed the first. I stuttered like a million times just now.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the first Shazam movie. I thought it was pretty good.
I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would have.
Yeah. The one thing that really bothered me was Zachary Levi's or Levy's, whatever, physique. It was very clear that it was a padded suit that he was wearing.
Muscle suit.
The studio, which we shouldn't be surprised by this, by WB, since they're kind of a fuck show lately.
Lately?
Yeah. Well, lately as in like the past 5 years.
That's it? When did Dark Knight Rises come out? That was the last time they did something good.
Dark Knight Rises was amazing. I don't want to get into it.
But past that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was very
coming.
It's very clear that he was wearing a padded suit, and WB swore that he was not. And if you watch the movie, you can. I mean, if
I
you
mean, he
just
throws
see
a
it,
punch and his arm rotates, but his bicep stays upright the entire time.
yeah, his muscles don't move, and like that's just not how the body works. And like his head is like this big, and his body's like this big. It just didn't look good.
Yeah.
And I mean, the movie was good. Don't get me wrong.
They
I'm
made
not.
him look like an overjuiced bodybuilder.
Yeah,
And it's like Zachary Levi is in great shape. And
yeah,
even now he's gotten even more cut and just like
yeah.
buff. But like he looked like someone that was definitely on how do you put it nicely? Uh the big muscle ball shrinkage juice,
Yeah.
which
But
he wasn't.
but they also, with the new trailer that they released, they also released a picture of the new costume for this movie, and I am very pleased and happy to say that Zachary Levi actually put on the weight now, and they did a slimmer costume to show his actual physique and not a padded costume.
Yeah.
So it looks way better, way better.
And like the
I
thing
and
is,
I get
he looks close to the same size. I mean,
yeah,
he got fucking buff.
yeah, jacked. He just wasn't in the he was still big and put in the work in the first movie, don't get me wrong.
Oh
They
yeah,
just
they just
it's hard it's
accentuated
hard
it.
it's hard to put out a Ben Affleck and fucking Henry Cavill as Batman and Superman, who are just big fucking guys that are just super jacked. And they're like, hey, Zachary, we want you to put on this weight. Oh, okay, you didn't put it on yet. We'll just make the costume
Yeah.
look buff instead.
We'll just
And it
figure it
looked,
out, you know, in
yeah.
costume.
And it just looked ridiculous. But now with the teaser and the pictures that have been revealed of Shazam 2, he definitely fucking beefed up. He looks good. The costume looks good. I'm excited to see this movie.
Yeah, and like we both said, I mean, we really enjoyed the first one. To
Yeah,
our
it was a
surprise,
good movie.
so like I'm super excited for this one.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with Black Adam, and we get, Dwayne Johnson as
Rumored.
Black Adam. What do you mean rumored?
Has
There's
it been
no-
officially confirmed that he's going to be in Shazam 2?
Yeah, there's a fucking like picture of him as. Oh no, not in the movie. Sorry, I meant.
Yeah,
I was still talking about physique. Like you can't like be like, hey, I can beat up Dwayne Johnson.
I thought you were
but
talking
I'm
about
this
Black Adam
big.
showing up in Shazam 2. I was like,
No,
I know
no,
that
no,
The
no.
Rock is Shazam or
No,
is Black
sorry.
Adam.
I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, he's.
I'm not that
No,
daft.
my bad. No. We just got our dicks crossed there for a second.
Which is really hard to do because like
I just mean you can't
Size-wise.
be.
sorry, Mom.
You can't. Sorry, Mom. You can't be.
Small Pete over here.
You can't be a very small guy and then be put next to The Rock and be like, hey, my character is gonna beat your ass in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Unless you're like Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Which
So
Shazam is not. Shazam is like a beefcake.
yeah. Like Shazam can throw down with Superman.
Yeah.
And it's happened like through the comics and cartoons and shit. Like it's Shazam's a badass.
Yeah.
Chad wanted to talk about Legacy on Netflix for a little bit, very briefly.
Jupiter's Legacy.
like
or-
it's runtime.
Yeah, so we should probably instead of call it Jupiter's Legacy, Jupiter's Not So Legacy, because it's already been canceled.
Yeah.
Which I'm super bummed about. I really enjoyed the show. I love Mark Miller, and what's more fucked up is that they canceled Jupiter's Legacy so that they could produce a different Mark Miller project that is more popular in print than the Jupiter's Legacy.
Well, is it gonna be good?
This show was slow to get started.
I think I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes.
It was so fucking good.
I didn't finish it, but then I heard it got canceled, and then that made my wiener soft because I don't want
Gross.
I don't want to watch a cliffhanger, which is what I assume they're gonna do, or what they did, not gonna do. I assume what they did is left it open for a season 2, and then it got
Well, yeah,
canceled, and I
because
don't want to see that because that's gonna
there's
piss me off.
there's multiple runs of this comic from is God, now I feel bad that I don't remember exactly what it's called. But so Mark Miller, for those of you that don't know, he's a comic book writer and artist. I mean, he's the one who wrote and brought to life the story of the Marvel Civil War, like the first Civil War storyline. You okay over there?
Yep.
Losing some shit? Cool.
I'm just crossing stuff off so I don't lose myself here. Sorry.
Yeah, so Mark Miller is behind that. I mean, he isn't officially employed by Marvel, but Marvel Studios has said that they consult him on every film because he played such a high role into the Marvel Ultimates comics, which is what the MCU is so largely based on. So like it's not like Mark Miller is some unknown independent comic book artist. It's just that when DC and Marvel didn't want to pick up his independent writings, he went out there and just created his own comic book company. Yeah. And now they're just being like, nah, fuck you, dude. This comic book series that we greenlit for, a couple of seasons and then changed our mind on isn't selling as much in print, and we don't have the biggest listenership because of it. So we're just not going to do this one, but like, hey, you know that other story that you wrote that like sold more copies but might not translate as well to film? We want to do that one instead.
He's getting paid either way. Whatever.
Well, I mean, good for him, but like, this story was cool, man. Like, it was.
Whatever.
It bridged the gap between like the golden age of comics to modern age comics, and how like theologies changed and adapted. And they're just like, nah, fuck it. We don't want to do this. And I'm super bummed because I really enjoy the show.
Well, it's gone. So
yeah, well, maybe not. It might get picked up by someone else. Hopefully.
I hope not.
Why? It was so. You didn't even finish the show. It was so fucking good.
I'm just being an asshole.
I know. No, clearly.
I just want to move on to more exciting stuff that we have written down here.
Oh, like the Spoderman?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Legacies, Jupiter, or whatever.
Jupiter's Legacy, but whatever.
I know what it was called.
I know, you're just being a dick. I get it. Whatever.
I like Josh Duhamel. I just thought whatever. I don't care. Spider-Man. we have some awesome Spider-Man news. One, the trailer didn't drop last week like we were hoping it would. And it might drop this week like we're hoping it will.
It
probably won't until next week like we're hoping it will not. I hope it drops this week.
It's supposed to drop on the 10th, which will be the day after this comes out. Yeah. So Thursday the 10th. But we
can't. There's nothing we can really say about it because we haven't seen it. But we fucking, god damn it, Shazam doesn't come out for 2 years. It doesn't come out till 2023, and fucking Spider-Man comes out in 6 months, and we haven't got shit for it.
Which is 100% why Warner Brothers released that teaser for Shazam. Yeah. They're like, hey guys, I know you're super excited about Spider-Man, but look at me.
Yeah.
Look at this awesome teaser to get you excited, and then you're going to forget about it the second Spider-Man's trailer drops.
In other Spider-Man news, there's a couple things that Chad and I know or talked about. One of them is that we do have the next Spider-Verse animated series coming, or not series, movie coming from Sony, Into the Spider-Verse, and we do know that they did cast a female as Spider-Woman to be in that movie, and I think
Yeah.
we're both pretty. What was her name again?
Issa Rae. I think I'm saying it right. Issa Rae.
Issa Rae.
Or
Yeah,
Issa Rae. Um,
yeah. So we're gonna get to see another Spider person in this movie, which is pretty awesome. There is, I think we're just being hopeful about this. We don't know for sure.
I
I
think
know
we're
that
being hopeful, but I'm okay with it.
in the first Into the Spider-Verse movie, they wanted to do a Tom Holland Spider-Man cameo, but because Disney and Sony hadn't worked their beef out yet, uh, they didn't do it.
Call it what it is.
And,
It was a custody battle.
yeah, but over Tom Holland.
Who gets Tom Holland on what weekends and who gets him
But
for which holidays?
yeah, but now that they have shared custody over their stepchild that nobody wanted,
We all wanted Tom Holland.
we all wanted Tom Holland.
We didn't know it until we saw it, and then we're like,
Yeah.
that's Spider-Man.
But now I think that we may get his cameo in this movie, and I think that would be really cool.
That would be really cool. I love him as Spider-Man. It's so great.
Yeah.
But also on top of that, we got cameos, or not cameos, but like teasers. That's the right word for. Is it Jensen Ackles? Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Kegels.
You guys would know him from the 20-year long running fucking show Supernatural.
Oh my God.
I think it went for like 14 or 15 seasons.
Yeah. I think it was 15. He played Dean
Winchester. Yeah.
He died 37 times.
Yeah. I mean, they both died like every other season finale.
Yeah. That's how it ended. No, but yeah, so Jensen Ackles.
As Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy. Soldier. Is he gonna crank that? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, it's literally. If I knew the dance, I would do it right now. I swear to God.
But it's not actually Soldier Boy, isn't it? Soldier Man? No, or is it Soldier Boy?
No, it's Soldier.
Yeah, look that shit
up. Hold on. You keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
But what's cool is, so depending on which running of the boys you've read, if you've read them, his costume is a little bit darker than what the graphic novels have showed, but he is very much in the comics influenced off of, he's the Captain America. Yeah. But
it is Soldier Boy, by the way.
It is Soldier Boy. Wow.
Yeah.
Tell him.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really like Jensen Ackles.
I think he's awesome.
He played in some animated Batman movies. He played Bruce Wayne's voice.
Some of the newer ones, like Death in the Family.
He's been in the nerd game for a while.
Batman,
I respect, bro. Yeah,
and he's done a fair amount of cosplay as Batman too.
Yeah,
in honor of playing. The Dark Knight.
Well, another one I want to briefly touch on before we get into Loki here is we don't know anything about this, so we can't really say anything about it other than mention it. But Ryan Reynolds posted
give you the full breakdown. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds posted a picture of a script and a backpack with the Deadpool costume sticking out of it. He posted it to his Twitter, and that's all we fucking know about it. So
is it the standalone Deadpool 3, or is he gonna show up in something else? We have no idea.
No clue. We do know that
coming.
Marvel.
There's a script that involves Deadpool. Yeah.
We do know that Disney brought Ryan Reynolds on as Deadpool.
Yeah,
That's what
and
we
as
know.
a producer for it, because
So,
they want to do it right.
yeah. So that's fucking rad. I wish I had more context for you guys, but
Yeah.
we just don't.
We don't, but it's gonna
We
be
just have
good.
big boners. We just have very mediocre boners for this right now.
Jake has a very mediocre boner, and my
I have
boner is
I have a
subpar.
very I have a very average boner right now.
M-
Sorry, mom.
Mine will make most subpar women be like, "That's it."
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Oh, sorry, mom.
Oh, we're halfway there.
Wow. Uh,
uh,
yeah.
and then I
So,
think the last thing in news that we have is just Loki, man. It comes out on fucking Wednesday.
which
We
will be
are
the day that you guys are hearing this if you listen
get
to this
this
on the
episode,
release.
yeah.
So for like half of you that listen on release date, and for the other half of you, go watch Loki.
Yeah.
It's gonna
It's
be
gonna
rad.
the
I mean,
the
we get
initial
Owen
review.
Wilson. I mean, just
Yeah.
wow.
The initial review. Wow.
Wow.
The initial reviews that are coming out about it are really good. Everyone's saying that the relationship between Loki and Owen Wilson's character, who is Mobius,
Would you
are
Mobius M Mobius,
yeah,
which
is
stands for
are
the M stands for Mobius.
yeah, is they're saying that the relationship between the two is like a bad boys kind of relationship where
Would
it's
you say
like
it's like a Starsky and Hutch kind of
yeah,
relationship,
yeah,
or
just
like
like a buddy cop kind of relationship.
yeah,
That's
like
what we're getting out
Starsky
of
and
it.
Hutch, or like Zoolander and Hansel?
Yeah.
Because he's so hot right now.
That Hansel is so hot right now.
Basically, you keep Owen Wilson as the blonde comic relief, and then you
But
get
he has
the
a mustache now.
yeah, and it's super gray. I
Yeah.
wonder if they actually dyed it or if he's just getting old. Because I don't want to accept the fact that he's getting old, so they dyed it. Okay, cool. I'm glad we
Okay.
talked about this in depth.
I'm like, bro, I'm turning 34 in like 2 months, and I'm gray.
Dude, you dyed your beard this the past week.
I had to for the wedding.
You didn't have to. You gave into peer pressure.
They wanted me to dye my beard for wedding pictures, and I did it. And
You could be a poster child for saying no to drugs.
and I look like
but-
I'm 32 again. Okay.
Yeah, it barely de-aged you.
Yeah.
It just made you
It's
look
bad.
like you ran a deli and you wore a gold chain, and everyone that walks in you greeted as my friend.
What's with you in this deli fucking thing? You did this when I shaved my mustache, and now it's like I dyed my beard. Now I own a deli again too.
My
Do
friend.
you just think I fucking own delis?
It's because I eat meat and I wish you owned a deli so I could get discounts.
I will never own a meat deli.
Oh, so you'll own a meatless butcher shop? Which is also known as a bakery?
No.
I say this as I'm trying to go fucking meatless and go plant-based. I'm sorry, guys.
Take it away,
love
Chad.
those jokes. Fine. So
Your news is over. End it.
All right, guys. So we want to go ahead and close out this episode.
We also want to plug our good friend Austin and his artwork. You can go check him out. Oh, he made this for us. I know we showed it last week. We're gonna show it again because it is fucking rad.
Yeah.
He's also got like a ton of other like way cooler shit than this, but this is really cool.
Yeah, so you can find him on Instagram. It's Austin_Horwitz.
I'll fix that later.
AUSTIN_HORWITZ. Hasn't. I mean, he's done some awesome stuff. He just put out an awesome glow in the dark piece.
Yeah,
Just
it's fucking sick.
absolutely rad. Also from there, we do just want to throw out the fact that we did just get in some new merch. We have our mustache shirts from the past month of May, as well as some Sorry Mom tees, and then we're refilling our stock on our original T-shirts because those did sell out, and then we're also going to be adding some
bro tanks.
Some bro tanks.
Some
Yeah.
bro tanks. Yeah.
Super excited, for the summer months. So you can find those on our web store. The link is on our bios and the show notes. It's the link tree that you'll see. But also from there you can find our Patreon page. So if you like what we're doing, I hope you like what you're doing. For my misspeak there, but if you like what we're doing and you want to contribute on a monetary value, literally, we don't make money off of this. Anything that you guys give to us, we put right back into the podcast.
Yeah.
For more merch, for giveaways, all of it.
And even before we were making money off of this, we were just bleeding money into this.
We're not making money. We're just bleeding
less.
less.
Yeah, bleeding less. Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
We put a wet napkin over the bleeding wound. And that's about where it's at.
But we love it, and that's
that's why we do this, because we enjoy it. So you can also check out our Patreon, where you can get some exclusive merch. So like specific colored T-shirts that we're not going to use for our regular web store, some mugs, sweatshirts, stuff like that will never be available just to like.
We're gonna get some of these guys made, these rubber like wristbands.
Yeah, we have a lot that we want to do in the next year, really 6 months to a year, where we're just going to keep building and growing. And if you like what we are doing and you want to be a part of it, you can find our Patreon through our link tree as well. It's literally just patreon.com/allthingsnerdpodcast. But yeah, other than that, I mean, guys, we love you so much.
We love you guys.
Thank you for letting us bitch about movies that we love. Hopefully we make you laugh, and hopefully you apologize to your mothers as well for your less than perfect traits. And with that, we're going to close out, and this has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.